Hello,
Hi.
I'm Matty, this is Paddy, and welcome to the first instalment of The Glory Rap, brought to you by none other than Chasing the Glory. Glory Rap is a weekly online sports show brought to you by us, where we'll talk a bit of anecdote, throw a bit of things around.
Yep, all good things about sport.
Talk about the week's results, and try not to do anything controversial.
Yes.
Paddy, what's made the rap this week, mate?
Let's kick it off with a bit of international rugby union, and none better than Australia versus Wales. What a game.
Cracking.
What a finish. A nail-biting victory by the Wallabies, 25-22 at the death. Notable mentions, got to go to Berwick Barnes, just steering.
You got a bit of a list there or something?
Berwick Barnes?
It's better.
Just steering Australia victory in the playmaking position.
Sensational.
Great game. And he's also added a son to his family, Archie Barnes. Welcome to the planet, mate.
I think he also might like to add a cab driver to his family after his thanks to the cabbie for getting him to the team hotel in time for the bus departure.
Big thanks to the cabbie.
Not just Berwick, thanks you, Mr. Cabbie. We all do. Cheers.
Also, can't go past shouting out to Aussie Mike Harris.
Oh, yes.
Having the ability to keep the Gilbert over the black dot when necessary. Just
Very
awesome.
impressive, wasn't it?
Awesome.
Also, thanks Mike Harris for your shout out on Twitter on Sunday. Although we'd like to admit here and now the joke we made about you having a cameo similar to Lance Armstrong.
You mean Lance Armstrong?
No, Lance Armstrong's appearance in the film Dodgeball.
That was his pseudonym for the... That's his acting name.
Yep. His stage name. That joke, unfortunately, was better delivered at the time and was not ours.
Yep. But we'll take credit for it.
Absolutely.
We'll take the credit
Fantastic
for it.
gag.
I'm not going to take the credit for his stuff up, but we'll take the credit for the jokes. That's
Brilliant.
for sure.
It was
That's for
brilliant.
sure. Moving along.
I'd like to stay international and we'll go into football, soccer.
Yep.
Australia v Japan played last week.
Yep.
1-1 draw.
No surprises, really. So
What happened? It's a game of draws.
Yeah.
Soccer's a game of draws, and all those.
But
people,
sometimes the draws are good.
well, they need to happen.
Yes.
Because all those people out there in the media that bag them, do they not realise that a draw is as good as keeping the project on par?
Yeah, keeping the hopes and dreams alive. And it was an entertaining match. And too many people were complaining about it. It was a very entertaining game.
You know, a few dodgy calls, bit of drama.
Yep.
It's all that's important.
But well done to the Socceroos. They're continuing their quest.
They
And we
haven't
hope
lost.
to see them in Brazil in 2014. That's for sure. So keep it up, boys.
As far as we're concerned, just keep winning or drawing. Just get there.
Yep.
Well done. Let's go to another sport, hey? I'd like to go into rugby league.
It's pretty
Rugby
obvious.
league.
Time to step into the league.
Yeah, there's plenty of
League
rugby
territory.
league going on this time of
Rugby
year.
league.
Last week we saw the second game of State of Origin at Sydney's Homebush.
Yes.
To see New South Wales get up over Queensland.
Yep. They were the better team on the night.
They were a classic Origin encounter, one for the times.
Yep.
All those young whippersnappers growing up wondering if Origin was dead, which we're reading in some papers in some states, can now be very happy to know that in fact it's still well alive.
Yep. It was a great game, and no doubt going to be a nail biter in Brisbane for the decider. But what you may not know, Matty, is that the New South Wales fans, who are obviously overjoyous at the victory, also broke or smashed a world record in the stadium that night.
What was that?
They smashed a record for wearing the most blue wigs, I guess in stadia or something like that. But what a record to break!
Only here at Chasing the Glory do you know and find out information like that. Thanks
Talk
to
that one
Glory
over the
Rap.
water cooler.
Moving along, we'd like to drop down into domestic sports now.
Yeah, that's
domestic level clubland rugby league.
Yep.
There's a lot of domestic sports happening in the league and AFL on a weekly basis, and in rugby union, the Super 15. So we'd like to kind of pluck out a game of the week that we'd like to talk about in this brief wrap.
Yep.
This week's game, definitely Cronulla Sharks defeating the Warriors.
Yep.
Down in the Shire.
Carney continuing his winning ways.
So they got up by a point, I believe 2019.
It's a great comeback in the
It's
driving rain.
I'm pretty sure the backs were actually playing in
It's
canoes.
very likely.
It was flooded, I believe. So big ups to the fans for heading out there and throwing the tarps on.
Yep.
And big ups to the Cronulla Sharks for bringing home a victory. Paddy,
Yep.
what else?
Stepping over to the AFL for our Victorian fans.
Yes. What
Um,
happened there?
Look, I think the club game of the week, we have to give it to GWS versus Richmond. Now, GWS lost, which is no surprises there, but their performance was very good, very improved, a gutsy effort really,
Yeah.
to push Richmond all the way to the death. And I think they should be proud. And we hope, Chasing the Glory hopes that we continue to see some cracking performances from the young guns.
And big ups also goes to Richmond Tigers. I mean, here at Chasing the Glory, we know the big games happen. We know someone's reporting on the big stuff at the G and the sellouts and 85,000 plus. What's important to know is two teams haven't been well informed in the last couple of years. One of them not even in the tournament, not even in the games, playing well. So big ups to those guys.
Yep.
Like to see it continuing.
Yep.
Where else are we at? I think that's probably our wrap for this week.
We do have to do a bit of Olympic coverage, as it is only about 30 roundabout days away.
30-ish?
Yeah, 30-ish.
Where's the torch at the moment?
Mate, Portugal. I've got no idea where the torch is.
Great guess.
What have we got?
Shouting out to two members of the Olympic team. First of all, very important update on Steve Hooker, the legendary gold medalist pole vaulter.
Yes.
He's been training hard. I believe he's managed to clear his back fence with a pool scooper this week, so great progress.
Deep in training. Very good. Also, a big thumbs up to a big man, Damon Kelly, for smashing the alleged extortionist in the weightlifting champs, and has found himself on the bus on the way to London to hunt Olympic gold. Great story.
Super heavyweight story.
Yep, it's good stuff. Before we depart though, on a sadder note, we unfortunately have to say goodbye to a legend, Sterling Warlock, who has officially announced his retirement from rugby union, and he will retire at season's end with the Melbourne Rebels. Sterlo, it's been a pleasure to watch you over the years, and you provided some great memories, so thank you for all of that.
I feel like this is when Rugby Shark retired from rugby league.
Just shattering.
That's it for the Glory Wrap this week. Hope you've learnt nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
And we'll catch up with you next week. Matty Paddy.
See you then.
This is the token bit where we look like we're
I drew
not
an X during that.
Did you?
What do you reckon they did?
Squiggled.
I drew an X. I feel like it actually, that's all, the only thing I found time to do.